Contextual amnesia. This one I use the most. Imagine bringing up something incredibly hurtful someone said to you a few days ago. Instead of arguing, they look at you with calm, genuine confusion and say, "I remember that conversation perfectly, but I never said that. Why would I?" They don't scream. They just give an alternate timeline anchored by small, true details. You find yourself digging through your own memory, searching for proof that doesn't exist outside your head. This is contextual amnesia. The manipulator doesn't deny the event happened. They systematically alter the core emotional facts while keeping the setting identical. Over time, you stop trusting your emotional data entirely, eventually relying on their memory to tell you what your reality actually was. Intellectual humiliation. You share an idea you are genuinely excited about with someone you look up to. They listen patiently, nod, and smile gently, saying, "It's really sweet that you're looking at it that way. It's a very comforting thought." They didn't insult your intelligence. Instead, they framed your perspective as a cute, childlike simplification of a reality that is far too complex for you to understand. This is intellectual humiliation. It's a quiet form of control, where someone uses phone-nurturing, patronizing language to make you feel fundamentally naive. By treating your insights as precious, they position themselves as the ultimate arbiter of truth. You walk away feeling smaller, subtly embarrassed, and learning to run every thought by them first for validation. The counter bait. Think about the last time you finally decided to draw a hard boundary and walked away from someone who was draining you. Then, out of nowhere, they do something unexpected. They send a message congratulating you on a minor achievement or leave a small, thoughtful gift on your desk with a note. "Saw this and thought of you. No need to text back. Just wanted to make you smile." Suddenly, the narrative flips. Your brain chemistry misfires. You look like the cruel, cold-hearted one, while they look like an unconditionally loving saint. This is the counter bait. Seduction by vulnerability. We are trained to look out for egoists who brag about their achievements, but there is a much more dangerous archetype that manipulates through the exact opposite: their trauma. Within hours of knowing you, this person shares their deepest, most agonizing secrets, looking at you with wide eyes to say, "I've never been able to tell anyone that before. You just feel so safe." Instantly, an invisible trap snaps shut. You have been cast as their savior. This is seduction by vulnerability. By weaponizing their own victimhood, they create an immediate, artificial bond of intense intimacy. But it's a setup, because once someone is established as completely broken, they become entirely unaccountable. If they mistreat you later, you find yourself making excuses for them. They've been through so much, they don't mean it. You become a shield for their bad behavior. Proximal isolation. Isolation rarely happens by a manipulator locking you in a room. It happens out in the open. You're at a social gathering with a partner or a friend, and they are incredibly charming to everyone else, but every time you speak, they subtly steer the conversation away, pass an inside joke to someone else, or close their physical posture to block you out. To the room, nothing happened. To you, you are completely alone in a crowded room. This is proximal isolation. Instead of removing you from your support system, they degrade your status within it. They make you feel invisible and socially clumsy when they are around, which naturally causes you to withdraw from your friends voluntarily. They didn't force you to isolate, they just made the outside world feel too exhausting to participate in. Boundary erosion. Someone asks to borrow something small, or pushes a minor rule you set, like asking them not to text you when you are at work because it distracts your attention. When you mention it, they laugh it off or apologize so quickly, it feels silly to hold a grudge, so you let it slide. Then, next week, the boundary gets pushed just a fraction further. This is boundary erosion. Manipulators who play the long game never smash through your defenses. They shave them down 1 millimeter at a time. They test your reaction to tiny infractions because they know human psychology adapts to incremental changes. By the time they commit a massive breach of trust, your threshold for what you consider acceptable bad behavior has been completely recalibrated. You look around wondering how you let things get this bad, but it happened so slowly you never notice the shift. The double bind. You are dealing with someone who expresses frustration that you never share your feelings, so you finally open up and tell them you've been feeling stressed and unappreciated. They immediately sigh, drop their shoulders, and say, Great, so now I'm just a burden to you. I can't do anything right. This is the double bind. It is a structural trap where every choice you make results in a loss. If you stay silent, you are being distant and emotionally unavailable. If you speak up, you are attacking them and causing them pain. When every option leads to you apologizing, you eventually choose to stop speaking entirely, giving them total control over the emotional climate of the relationship. Schrödinger's joke. This is my favorite. It basically happens when someone in your circle makes an incredibly insulting comment about your appearance, your intelligence, or a boundary you care about. The room goes quiet. You call them out on it. Instantly, they throw their hands up, laugh nervously, and say, "Oh my god, relax. It was just a joke. You are way too sensitive." But you know that if you had laughed along, they would have meant every single word. This is the mechanic behind what psychologists call Schrödinger's douchebag. It is a tactical test of boundaries. The manipulator releases a toxic or offensive statement into the air and keeps its true intent in a state of uncertainty. They wait for your reaction to decide what their actual reality was. If you accept it, the insult stands as truth. If you fight it, they retreat behind the shield of humor, forcing you to look like the dramatic one. They never have to take responsibility for their malice, because they never technically committed to it.